Welcome to GTC's Teaching Tidbits Blackboard Ultra. In this series, we focus on exploring teaching techniques, tips, practices, ideas to expand your knowledge of and comfort with using Blackboard Ultra. And I'm joined by Lee McMinn today from the Curriculum and Instructional Support Center, CISC for short. Welcome, Lee.
Hey, thanks, Rachel. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. It's hard to believe it's already time for the monthly update episode again, and yet here we are. It's mid-August and it is time. And in our previous episode, Lee gave us just a tiny little sneak peek of some of the things coming for August. And so if you're watching this episode, you may have noticed some new things and features in Blackboard Ultra already. So I'm going to turn it over to Lee to share the August 2023 Blackboard Ultra updates.
Thanks, Rachel. We have a good number that we're going to be looking at, 10 actually, that we're going to see in this presentation, but that's not all of them. These are just the ones that really affect faculty and or students. And I think the faculty are going to be really pleased. And then I'm going to show you a little preview of what's coming, or let's show you the list of what's coming in September. I think once we get through September, we are going to be, of course, above and beyond where we were with original. Most of the other features that are coming in September are going to fill out some of the things that were missing from original. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Of course, all the new features that are out there. So basically what we have here for August that we're going to talk about, there's flexible grading. You see the text, grade by question. That's what lots of instructors have been screaming for. Gradebook, there's some new default view in the grid view. The Gradebook being able to move columns around. Those icons are now permanent. They're not hidden anymore. Learning module images. This is really exciting. For those of you that come take our UJA course, the faculty that take that PD, you're going to see examples of this as you take the course as a student. Replace files, when we'll look at that and I'll tell you what that means when we get to it. Alert flags on students. This can be extremely helpful, especially if you're talking about attendance and want some alerts about student activity and where they stand in the course. This is going to be quite helpful. Groups in the top nav bar, that pretty much says it all. Unread messages indicator. Now, some of you may have seen at the beginning of August when this came out, there was a little glitch, there was a little error. They got it fixed within a week. This is great, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to it. I'm going to mention course settings again, even though that came in back in July. I want to point this out again as we're getting ready to start the new semester. For those of you that want to open up your Blackboard course a few days early, this is where you go to do it. And then the last thing we'll look at is some indicators on the course status that students and faculty will see. This better explains or shows students if the course is open or not, and we'll look a little bit at that. So let's jump in, and first thing off, grade by question or grade by student. It is now here. It does date back in the past. This is the screenshot. When you go in to grade a test or an primarily test or quiz where you're going to have different types of questions. You know, we have those auto-graded questions out there, and then we have 1 or 2 essay questions, and we want to grade just that essay question. Well, now you can do it. So when you click to grade a test, it's going to come in on the student view. So you'll see students underlined here on the left, and it'll show all the students. And you can just click on their name and grade it. But if you have that essay question you want to grade, you just scroll down. It's going to list. You click on questions. It's going to list all the questions in the test, but you scroll down and find the essay question that you want to grade. You click on it, and this is what comes up on the right-hand side. All right. What I have done is I have expanded here on this top student. Their name is hidden, of course, which is great, but you can see their answer right here. I have expanded the example of correct responses. This is not normally expanded, right, as you'll see in the student down below. So I can then check their answer against what would be accepted if you entered that information. And then, of course, you grade that particular question. You can see this student didn't answer it correctly. You would, if you wanted to grade it, it would be a dash there. You just click on the grade, type in the grade, move to the next student, and you go on. So you can now grade by question. The default gradebook in grid view, if you remember, this has been on for the past year that we've had this. When you would go to grid view, it'd be full of purple text saying there was a new submission when there wasn't, or grade now when there was nothing to grade. All that has been removed. Now it's just an empty grid until they submit work. As they submit work, then these will fill in. All right, this is looking at a current upcoming course, so there's nothing in there. I just wanted to show you how clean it was. Move icons. Remember, you can only move columns around from the list view, but now that move icon is no longer hidden. You would have to move your pointer around and wait for it to show up, and then you could click and drag that column. Now the move icon is always visible, so you don't have to hunt for it anymore, because we would forget and think it was over on the left and all that. So that's been fixed. Learning module images. This is something new. All right, this is a great thing. Now, normally we're used to seeing a learning module that looks like this. It has this little weird icon. The reason you see the slash is because it's hidden from the students. But if it weren't hidden, there would not be a slash there. But you just have those weird looking icon. What is it? Well, now you can insert images. This is a picture of our UJA training course. Those of you faculty, if you really want to go through this UJA training, I encourage you to sign up for it. This is our 10-second commercial for UJA training, by the way. Go to PD for me and sign up for it. But what I've done to demonstrate what we can do is you can put an image in now in place of the learning module icon. This image, when you put it in, you click the edit feature for this learning module. You can scroll down. There'll be a blank here that says add image. You can click on that, and then you can click and drag, or you can go and find the file you want to load. And there's also place for alternate text. Strongly encourage that you put alternate text in here, even if it's just a brief explanation of what the image is. This is very, very important for those using screen readers. You would click save, and there the image would be for that learning module. There's no right or wrong image. I like to use images that kind of tell what's in the learning module or what the learning module is about. So that's basically how that works. Replacing files and content in course content basically means what it says it means. You know, if you have an image already loaded, you want to replace it. What had happened in the past, it would replace it, but it left the old image in content collection, which means it's still taking up storage space. Now, when you replace an image, it removes the old image from the content collection. It deletes it out, and it replaces it with the image you're putting back in its place. You can choose to replace it in just this location. If you have the same image tagged in multiple places, you can select to update it in all places, and it will do that. All right. This also goes, which came back in July, if you delete content, all right, this is a file, not just an image. You can replace a file, whether it's an image or a file, but in either case, what I was jumping back to was if you delete a file or an image out of your course, it will automatically delete that from the content collection again, all right? So just go back and look at last month's tidbit to see more information about that. The alert flags. This can be very, very helpful. This is just a screenshot from the new release page on the Blackboard help site. You have two places that alert flags can show up. They can show up by the overall grade, or they can show up by the days since last access column. All right. You can change these settings or set these settings up here, right here where it says alert settings. All right. You can go and change that. By default, there is no alert set up for overall grade. That's for you to set, okay? There is automatically turned on for last days since access, and the default time is 5 days. So if a student has not logged into the course or done anything in the course for more than 5 days, you will see a flag by that number, all right? This can help you with attendance or help you warning a student that's about to be administratively withdrawn, because Blackboard tells you every day that they haven't participated. So when you see they've got 8, 9, 10, 11 days that they have been absent from the course, you can send them a message and say, hey, look, Lee or Rachel or whomever the student is, I see that you haven't been active in the course for X number of days. You know, if you miss 3 more days, you're going to be marked absent and you will be automatically withdrawn from the course. Please get in touch with me, or whatever you need to say to that student. You can be alerted by grades. Now, to me, the flag on the overall grade is not as important, because guess what? We've got these color codes here. You can see the grade bubble is red if they have an F, all right, or yellow or orange yellow if they have a C or D, okay? So the grade bubbles kind of, or grade peels as they're called, kind of give you that warning, but you can still set that. Groups in the top nav bar, that's basically what it is. You got a groups link now in the top nav bar. Unread messages indicator. This is the one that we had a little error with when it first came out, but Blackboard had it fixed within the week. Basically what that means is now when you go into a course, if you have new messages in the course, you'll have this little red dot beside the messages tab at the top with the number in it that tells you how many new messages you have in that particular course. When you go into messages and start reading those, you'll see that number decrease. So if I read the first one, it would drop to 4, and then 3 and 2 until you've read them all, and then that red dot disappears if you don't have any new messages or you've read them all. That's a very big help. All right, course settings. This is a reminder I wanted to let you know about in course settings. Basically, to set that, you'll see it in the top right-hand corner of the course. You just click on course settings. Here is where you can change the start date. When you go into course settings, you'll see this duration here. You click on the pencil beside the word edit. You can then change the start and the end date. Remember, changing the end date will only last until the next update. You really can't change the end date, but you can change the start date if you want to allow students to come in early. I'm going to give you a warning though. If you let students in early, the official start date of that course, whatever is listed in colleague, that is the official start date. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot require students to do work prior to that official start date. You can encourage them to, you can ask them to, you can say, hey, if you want to be fully prepared for the class, you know, do this before we get to the start date, but you cannot require it. And you cannot penalize a student if they don't have something done before the start date. That is the rule, and CISC will slam us if you do. But you click on the pencil, you go in here and you change the date and the time, you click apply, then you come back and click save, and your start date has been modified and students can now get in the course. Last thing I believe is the course status date improvements. Basically, we're looking here at the upcoming courses. You can see by the big heading in the center. You can see this course is now telling the students that it's private, and then in the green text it tells them when it will be available. That means when they can access that course. If the course is closed and they can't access it, it'll just say private. That means they cannot access it. If it's open, like you under your current courses, it'll just say open there. All right, so this is giving the students warning of when the class will be available, if it is available or if it's not available. All right, for what's coming in September, guess what? A lot of this is going to be AI. It's hard to believe, but AI is now working its way into learning management systems. What's going to happen, and this is the number one thing that I know everyone's been looking for. This is probably one of the biggest leftovers coming from original. That's your ability to send reminders from the gradebook list view. That means you can check off the students on a particular gradable item. You can click send reminder, and it will send them a reminder giving them the name of the item, the due date of the item, and that they need to get it done, sort of thing. The other AI things, or some things that's coming, is more image capabilities. These will be copyright free. It's from a third-party service called Unsplash. Unsplash has really grown and added more and more images out there, but you'll be able to pull course banner images from that. just searching by topic. Same thing for learning module images. You can type in the topic and search by topic, and it will pull up images that go along with that topic. Anything in this list that shows auto-generated or generated, that's AI kind of help. That means learning modules. This is a tool we can turn on or turn off, and you can use it or you can not. It's not going to take over your course. Everything is still controlled by the instructor. However, if you want to create, let's say you're creating a brand new course, you want to build some learning modules for it, you can put in some information and it will help you create some learning modules. I'm not going to go through every other item on here, but you can see what it can do. It's going to help you generate tests, generate question banks, and generate rubrics. These items with the asterisk, as you can see down at the bottom right, these may not make it in the September list. They're still working very hard to get these done. But if something happens and they can't get it fully functional, of course, it'll be delayed until October. The last thing to point out is a granular copy of announcements. Right now, if you piecemeal copy a course, you don't have the option to select announcements or to select particular announcements. Well, that's coming in September. So if you want to copy an announcement from one course to another, you'll be able to do that in piecemeal, meaning select just announcement 1, 2, or 4 and copy those announcements. So that's basically what we had for the updates for Blackboard. It's a lot of information. It's great information. If you have any questions, Rachel's going to mention it again, but you're welcome to contact any of us in CISC.
Wow, thank you, Lee. That was a huge list, but also a really exciting list.
Yes.
Especially that flexible grading by question. I think even in some orientations and things that we've had just recently, instructors have been talking a little bit about the gradebook or the grading. And so that one's definitely going to be an exciting one that faculty are going to be utilizing quite a bit.
Especially if they randomize questions, because then question number 5 may be an essay question for you, but for the next student, it may be question 10 for all we know. But now they can go straight to the essay questions and grade them.
Right. I see that being a huge time saver for a lot of the faculty. And I'm excited about the updates coming in September, especially that integration, so to speak, with Unsplash. For faculty who haven't discovered Unsplash yet, I have been using that almost exclusively for the last 2-3 years for any images because it is copyright free.
That's correct.
And so that saves us a lot. You know, they do give you the option to give credit to the photographer, and I do try to do that, but having that directly integrated into Ultra is really exciting. I think that will also, for faculty who want to have those images and incorporate that kind of experience for their students, that's going to make it easier for them.
And since it's integrated in with Blackboard, they don't have to go searching for other images, because then if you do that, you Google it or whatnot, then you've got to download the image and then you've got to then re-upload it to Blackboard. Whereas if you use Unsplash, it's right there. You just search for the image and click on it and bam, it's there. Well,
I am super excited about that. And I can't wait to hear more about it in September. So as Lee just mentioned, he and any member of the CISC staff over there are more than willing to connect with you if you want to continue the conversation. If you have specific questions, you can email Lee. It's lee.mcminn@gvltec.edu. You can also contact Rebecca Roth. She is Lee's partner in crime over there when it comes to Blackboard. Rebecca.roth@gvltec.edu. They're great places to start. But then also, if you just email CISC staff@gvltec.edu, any member of their team, someone will reach out to you, connect with you, and start that conversation, assist you in any way they can. They're a great team over there, have a lot of knowledge and expertise to share, and they are quick to do so. So definitely reach out there. And we do plan moving forward in this particular series to offer some subject specific besides just update episodes. So if there are specific things you want to learn about Blackboard Ultra, the gradebook, or a specific tool, and you want us to do a little bit of a deep dive, please let me know. Rachel.cobb, rachel.cobb@gvltec.edu, and I will connect with Lee and Rebecca, and we'll make those episodes happen as well. So that is all for this teaching tidbit, and we will see you next time.